Hi, everyone. It's Don, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, a lot of people are saying, okay, how do I find out exactly what I'm covered for with COVID? If I catch it on a ship, if I catch it beforehand, what's the policies? Where do I find that stuff? So let's talk about one cruise that I'm going on shortly, and let's look up exactly what's covered right now. Okay, first of all, I want to apologize for my disheveled look. I'm working, let's see, I've been working about 17 to 18 hours a day since 3 days now when I foolishly said, hey, I'm going on the Love Boat cruise. You know, I got a crazy idea. Why don't some people want to join me? We'll create a little group. Yeah, well, within an hour of that video, I had about 47 emails already, and there's only like a few cabins on this ship. So I've been going in order, and I've been going through the emails, and I've been booking people and then sending them confirmations. And then some people said yes, and some people say no. And then I cancel that reservation, make a new one, go to the next person in line. It's a mess. And Princess is closed right now, so everything has to be done manually online. It's not easy. I have look at these are all bookings, by the way, here that I have, and I have more papers over here. And I'm still going in order. So if I haven't gotten back to you, I will. But I have to make sure the cabins are free. I can't sell a cabin that's not on the ship. But I get these questions a lot. Well, what happens with Omicron and everything going on right now? What's covered? What's covered? So I just said, okay, let's do this video for everybody because a lot of people are wondering, where do I find this information? What do I look for in the information to see what happens if the worst case scenario happens that I need to be hospitalized or if I need to be quarantined in a hotel? Where do I find the information? Who pays for that? Am I covered? What's going on? So let's do the Love Boat cruise. We're doing Princess. So I went to the Princess What website, and right on the top it goes COVID protocols, cruise with confidence, that sort of thing. You click on that, and it brings you to the COVID protection program. And I'm going to bring it up on the screen right here for you so you can read it. You can see right here the COVID protection policy. Now, this policy right now is available for all sailing and cruising in North America through April 30th, 2022, for bookings made on or before February 28th. So till the end of February, this still counts, and it may get extended, but that's the temporary one that's there for now. Also, when they say sailing through April 30th, so if you jump on a cruise on April 29th, you're still covered. They don't end it the day after you get on the ship. Your sailing has started before that policy, but I would expect this policy to continue anyway right now with the way things are in the world. Okay, within 30 days of your sailing, if you or anyone in your immediate travel party in the same stateroom tests positive for COVID-19 within 30 days prior to and including embarkation day, or is denied boarding for a COVID-related reason, you will receive a future cruise credit of 100% of the cancellation fee and of non-refundable unused services and a refund of the original form of payment for all taxes, fees, port expenses, and prepaid onboard experiences and shore excursions purchased through Princess. So yes, anything that you book through Princess, you will get your money back in a future cruise credit. And things like shore excursions and drink packages, that will come back to you in cash, back to your credit card. Okay? So that's 30 days within. That's a pretty good testing site there because let's face it, most people are going to find out if they have COVID or 19 for a cruise when they take their test to go to the cruise. So there. Once on board, if you or your immediate travel party test positive while on board, you will receive a future cruise credit worth 100% of the per day cruise fare for missed days. 10-day cruise, test positive on the third day. The remaining 7 days is where you'll get your future cruise credit from. You're not going to get 100% return. So if you test positive on the last day because you're testing to fly back to Canada, don't expect them to pay you 100% of your money back. That's not how that works. You've been on a 9-day cruise. So that's how they're going to work that. And a refundable credit to your onboard account for missed prepaid onboarding. So if you have a shore excursion booked and you're isolated, you can't do it, you'll receive that money in the onboard credit that you can use on the ship if you want. However, at the end, unlike a lot of, like if you get onboard credits when you book a cruise as a perk, well, you lose them at the end of the cruise. However, these ones will be refunded to your credit card if you don't use them. They are refundable onboard credits for those shore excursions, so you won't lose them. So that's good. Through the cruise line, and for the refundable portion of taxes, port fees, etc., of visits for disembarkation. So if you miss a port, you're going to get your taxes and port fees that they charge you for that port. Onboard COVID-related matters to the medical center visits and testing of suspected COVID cases will be free of charge. They are not going to charge you to test you. They're not going to charge you if you have to use the medical facilities. All that is covered on the cruise ship for COVID, not for a sprained ankle, not for falling down the stairs, not for worst case scenario, heart problems. So remember that. Those are not covered. It's COVID only that is covered for this stuff. That's why you still need medical insurance when you travel. Don't assume that everything's covered nowadays. This is only COVID, and a lot of people forget that. Now, what happens if you test positive getting off the ship, and how much is your hotel going to cost you? Now, quickly, before I get into what happens if you test positive on shore side, or how much is your hotel going to cost you? Can you book your own hotel? All that stuff. Let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already, so you can keep up to date with all these things and find out all the information you need for your upcoming cruise, including cruise cancellations, port cancellations, testing requirements, etc., etc., etc. Really does help the channel when you subscribe. YouTube says, hey, people are interested in this. Let's share it to more people. And it really helps the channel grow. We're trying to hit that 150,000 mark. That would be a huge, huge milestone for a cruising channel. And again, I would really, really appreciate it. Okay, let's get back. What happens if we test positive shoreside? If you test positive for COVID-19 during your cruise, you will reimburse expenses for COVID-related medical care, including those incurred during any medical required post-disembarkation quarantine period. This includes air change fees and onward travel plans that need to be changed. They will also designate a dedicated family assistant liaison to help care and logistical shoreside support until you or the member of your immediate travel party is medically cleared to travel home. Any shoreside meals will be covered by a daily meal allowance. You can't have lobster every night, but it's an okay allowance, which you'll learn about more from the family assistance coordinator when you disembark. No receipts are required. We'll also offer assistance opening COVID-related insurance claim for those who are eligible under insurance policy. So if you have separate COVID insurance claim insurance as well, they'll help you and figure out, give you any documentation you may need to put in your claim, which is really good. Now, there it says, logistical care support until, and airline fees, but they don't say anything about hotels and things like that. So I scroll down into the frequently asked questions, right? And one of the questions down here you can see is, can I book my own hotel if I am required to quarantine post-disembarkation before returning home? And there you can see the answer is, hotel accommodations will be arranged by Princess with one of our contracted hotel partners. Should you select a different hotel, you will be reimbursed only for the amount of the contracted hotel rate. So if they get a contract with a hotel for $200 and you stay in a hotel for $400, you're only going to be refunded $200. The rest of that money would be on yours. Any incidental charges, costs related to room upgrades, I got a suite and I got the hot tub, and I got a balcony, and I got a butler, yeah, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay the money for that. Princess will provide hotel accommodations until medical professional clears you to travel home. So right there, your hotel expenses are covered. They will look after the hotel. They'll tell you where to go to. Your meals are covered. Medical is covered. All that stuff is covered by Princess if you catch COVID on board the cruise ship and need to be isolated. So that's that's a pretty good policy to have in place. And people always ask, well, should I get my own insurance anyway? It never hurts. Too much insurance when you have to use it is way better than having no insurance if you have to use it. So I travel all the time. I have my year-long travel insurance, and quite often I will pick up the cruise line insurance as well, depending on the cost and how long I'm going on a cruise. When I went on for a month, I picked up the extra insurance just in case, because I'd rather have more coverage than less coverage. It just kind of makes sense, especially right now, because my medical insurance I picked up extra will pay above and beyond charges of what the cruise line pays. So in that case, I could book my own hotel room at a nicer hotel in a bigger hotel room. Princess would cover a certain amount, and then my other insurance would kick in and cover the difference. So that's what I use for that as a proving ground. But if you're happy with the hotels that they choose, they're not putting you up at a Motel 6, or a motel that you see on the side of the road with like 4 cabins in it, four hotel rooms. They're going to put you up in a half decent hotel. And so far, I haven't heard a lot of complaints from anybody. And don't forget, it's very rare that people actually have to quarantine for any length of time. Most people are asymptomatic. They're not in a hotel that's like roped off kind of thing that you saw here in Canada when they had quarantine hotels. They had paper all along, like plastic all along the corridors, and people in hazmat suits rolling down the food to the door. They'd knock on the door and they'd run down the hallway till the person opened the door and got their food. It was like living some experimental center. Absolutely looked ridiculous. It really did. It's not as bad as a lot of people paint the picture to be. Will it be inconvenient? Yes. If you have to isolate, if you have to quarantine for a few days before you're cleared to fly home, absolutely, it'll be inconvenient. So keep that in mind. But remember, this is how you look. You look under the protocols, look under the places that they're doing. Look and look and look, because some cruise lines still don't have this policy. And you want to be sailing with cruise lines that have your back if something happens. And here I saw Princess will have my back. And there's other cruise lines that have your back as well. But you have to make sure before you sail. So all those people wondering about the Love Boat and what's covered, what happens if I catch COVID on board, there you go. Cruise line's going to cover you. Cruise line's going to pay for your hotel. Cruise line's going to help you change your flights. They'll pay for your medical flights if you have to fly home. They have to change the flights, they'll pay for all that, but they're not going to pay above and beyond. They will pay reasonable amounts, what they've contracted with places. And that's really, I think that's pretty darn fair. Because remember, this insurance is included in your fare. This isn't the insurance fare. And while I'm on that, one last warning. Still get insurance, because if you trip and fall down the stairs, it's going to cost you a fortune if you end up in hospital. If you end up having to get a cast on your leg in Puerto Rico, it's going to cost you a fortune. So make sure you have that insurance. It's worth. I just bought my insurance. It's $145. $145, or do I want $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 medical bills in a foreign country because I fell down the stairs? Because I'm clumsy that way. Well, there you go. That's a little bit about the coverage that you can look up, how to find it, what to look for. Make sure there's a hotel coverage involved. Make sure your coverage is involved. and that the cruise line's picking up the tab. And that is the best coverage that you can ask for right now. And also find out how long that runs. This one runs all the way until April. So my February cruise, well covered. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation. Yeah. I promise to shave next time. I really do.